Before ascending to the throne of paranormal late-night radio, Art Bell found himself embroiled in controversy back in 1979 when he operated a video dating company in California, tailored for swingers. It might sound too outrageous to believe, but stay tuned as we delve into the reality of Art's swinging 70s adventure. Our story starts with an ad placed in the Santa Cruz Sentinel on May 31, 1978, promoting VideoMate, a dating service located in Marina, California, co-owned by Art Bell and his partner at the time, Marcia Boyd. Run out of ways to meet interesting people of the opposite sex? Call VideoMate, the place where people meet people through TV interviews. For a free screening, call 1-384-DATE. Coincidentally, an ad for Art Bell's Sunday morning talk show on KCAP appeared just above. This and every Sunday morning, you have the opportunity to discuss topics of importance to you on KCAP, the flagship station of Monterey Bay, 1540 AM. Art Bell, well-known talk show host, will open phone lines to listeners in the Monterey Bay area. Props 13 and 8, SWAT, The Recall, Growth Management. If it's important to you, it's important to us. Tune in, listen and call 688-KKAP or 475-KKAP. Their venture garnered attention with a feature in The Californian on June 3, 1978, showcasing their business. News that the fickle world of dating has been packaged into a selection process on a TV screen could shock the pucker out of Casanovas of the world. The Don Juan graces to slay a mate into a date like cunning, statesmanship, persistence, and right guard may someday become obsolete with the advent of the videotape dating age. VideoMate of 235C. Rhinedollar Avenue in Marina says, forget the current state of the art. The singles bars, the disco joints, blind and computer dating, matchmaking dinner invitations are all out. She won't even see your Camaro GT. Here's how the dating service proposes to get you a date. You are videotaped by interviewer and co-owner Art Bell for about a 15-minute session, after you fill out the necessary application and profile forms. You view tapes of prospective dates, and if you like one, you alert Bell. Bell instructs the chosen party to come view a tape of the interested party. When both parties are introduced by Bell, and if they like each other, presto, you've got a videotape date. Bell, along with a co-owner, Marcia Boyd, charge $150 a year to join the service. They believe body language exhibited by the videotaping sessions tells more to their clients than they'd get through other dating service methods. It's a superior way over computer dating where you only see a mugshot, says Bell, an area talk show radio announcer. Bell, 32, has a few 24-inch TV screens and one videotape machine in his new office. The dating service allows women the option of initiating a date as well as men. Membership entitles one to viewing 24 prospective dates a year. Bell will also retape interviews if the applicant desires. But the 9 women and 3 men that he has thus far interviewed haven't requested editing or retaping. Once the paranoia is over, they usually think they've done rather well, he confides. Since last Thursday's opening, no matches have been made. It's too soon with too few applicants, Bell says. But one man has expressed an interest in a Santa Cruz girl, he adds. The patterns of interviews. Bell considers himself a crack interviewer seem to take similar directions. He asks easy questions to get conversation flowing and relax prospective daters. They will be queried on what astrological sign they were born under. Physical characteristics they might find interesting in another, if past relationships didn't work. Why? Favorite foods and hobbies. He brushes on questions involving sexual interests. Are you a drinker? Asks Bell of a woman in her early 20s. Typically camera shy, she makes her response. Moderately, she replies with a long roll of her dark eyes. Everybody knows what the characteristics are of their astrological sign, for example. So I will play on that to get them rolling, he explains. Bell says he will carefully screen applicants before allowing them to join. People thus far have been amazingly average, which gives me hopes for success, Bell reports. If it turns into kooks and nuts, though, I want out. He adds that the ages thus far have been from late teens to about 35. A lot of these people are divorced and trying to get back into circulation. Such was the case with Robert number 1. First names accompanied with a number are shown like credits before the tape comes over the screen. I'm looking for a new mate, Robert tells the camera. I'm in the process of dissolving a relationship. Videotape dating does have an inherent similarity to regular date procedure. You're on your best behavior on approach shots to a prospective date, just as you are in front of the camera lens. Both can be disarming. Dates for dating's sake isn't the only reason Bell gets visits. Should a guy have money? Bell asks a 19-year-old Carmel Valley woman. Oh no, she replies, just as long as he isn't poor and a leech. She adds that her recent romances have been short, and she is looking for a quality relationship. Dating in this manner is new to this part of California. Services are well on their way in San Jose, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. The Marina tape is done in black and white, and members fill out applications which relieve VideoMate from any liability of incidents which occur on a date. Shortly thereafter, Art and Marcia relocated to San Diego and rebranded their enterprise as Video Encounters, evident from an advertisement in the Chula Vista Star News on August 31st, 1978. Lonely? Video dating in color is here. We're not just another dating service. If you truly would like to meet a compatible mate, video dating offers the best way. Highest quality, lowest rates in San Diego. Free demonstrations. Call Video Encounters 464-1666. However, the narrative took a darker turn on April 13, 1979, when both Bell and Boyd were arrested and charged with felony pandering, solicitation of prostitution, solicitation of lewd acts, and operating a lewd establishment. Their arrest made headlines, with Ted Vollmer detailing the events in the April 18, 1979 edition of the Los Angeles Times. Joe and Cheryl had read an ad in a swingers magazine about a new video dating service where they could meet other couples who shared the same interests, sexual and otherwise. Last Friday, they entered the modest offices here of Video Encounters and were met by Art Bell and Marcia Boyd, who run the service as part of a more conventional type of video dating operation. The S group, Bell would say later, seemed to appeal to Joe and Cheryl. They filled out questionnaires asking them their likes and dislikes. They sat in front of a color video camera and were taped saying some of the same things they had written down just minutes before. Joe, 33, and Cheryl, 20, viewed some videotapes of other S Group members on a 25-inch monitor, paid a $15 membership fee, and left. But they soon returned. With them were 4 police officers, including 2 from the San Diego County Sheriff's Vice Squad and 2 from the La Mesa Police Department. Joe had actually been a vice officer, Cheryl an operative. Bell and Ms. Boyd were arrested and booked at county jail on suspicion of pandering, a felony, solicitation for prostitution, solicitation to commit a lewd act, and operating a disorderly house, a synonym for a house where sex for money exists. Held on $4,000 bail each, they were able to get some of their friends to post bond and were released several hours later. They returned to their office and discovered that hundreds of videotapes had been seized, along with confidential documents and other items police will use to prepare a case against them. They said $4,500 worth of videotaping equipment also was seized. But Bell and Ms. Boyd, self-described swingers who live with each other, are outraged, and some of the S Group members are nervous. The swingers, who prefer to call their activity recreational sex, are said to come from all walks of life and include law enforcement officers, school teachers, civil servants, and company presidents. They are worried that their once confidential membership in Video Encounters may now be exposed and cost them their jobs. "The swingers that are calling are freaking out," Ms. Boyd said in an interview. Several members who agreed to talk to the Times said their emotions run the gamut from a hope they can stay anonymous to outrage at the arrests and a desire to testify on behalf of Bell and Ms. Boyd. George Haverstick, the couple's attorney, called the charges crazy, absolutely crazy. He said the pair would plead innocent at their hearing, April 27th. Haverstick said the dating service is totally voluntary and that the couples are not paying for sex, merely the opportunity to meet other couples. "I can't think of a favorite aunt or social or religious institution who try to put people together," he said, "whose efforts might not end up with some sort of sexual activity," Haverstick said. Haverstick said that under the 1976 law, authored by Assemblyman Willie Brown, D. San Francisco, which legalizes most sexual activity, except prostitution, between consenting adults, video encounters is doing nothing illegal. The accused couple have been venting their anger and insisting nothing is awry. Bell said he and Ms. Boyd launched the swinger service last December as an expansion of the traditional video operation, akin to computer dating, which had been offered since September. Before they opened their office in La Mesa, a similar service had been offered in Monterey, Bell said. "We were attempting to offer an alternative to the hardcore magazines, which often have hookers advertising to meet people." Bell said, "We're a very low-profile operation." He said that in the videotape interviews, couples or individuals are asked about their fantasies, sexual likes and dislikes, and that interviewees are fully clothed. Two couples appeared topless in their interviews, but Bell said there was no sexual contact. Bell said the undercover officers claimed they had never swung before and wanted to meet another couple. "They were very good actors," Ms. Boyd said. Bell said the service is so discreet, you almost have to go to an adult bookstore to find out about it, since Video Encounters only advertises in swinger publications. One of the arresting officers said there had been no complaints from the community about the dating service, but he said the activity constituted prostitution nevertheless. "The crux of the thing is, they are providing couples for sex, and in turn, are receiving money for providing that service, which is an act of prostitution," said the vice officer, who asked not to be identified. "Swingers are people who are openly and freely engaged in sex, which isn't against the law. But once people receive money, it is," the officer added. He said Video Encounters members are not engaging in prostitution. He said prostitution must include sex for a consideration. Asked to explain the legal difference between the swinger service and the other video service offered by the couple, the officer said that the former dwells much more on sex. But the only questions on the Video Encounters questionnaire dealing with sex ask whether the applicant has a sexual preference, heterosexual, bisexual, or homosexual, and do you consider yourself a sexual person? One member, who supported Bell and Ms. Boyd, said he wasn't surprised at the arrests. "I really expected it," John 40 said, "not on the basis of their doing anything wrong, but the Vice squad seems to pick on things that are easily accessible." John and his wife Nanya, 32, said in separate interviews they were not forced to answer any embarrassing questions in their videotaping sessions and went to Video Encounters to help save their marriage. She said the forms and interviews were above board, honest. Kathy, 28, also a member, said the charges of prostitution are ridiculous. "My God, money, why?" she asked. "If they, other members, want to pay something, let them go down to 5th and Broadway. What kind of friendship can you have when money is up front?" Despite the initial legal woes, Bell and Boyd received a reprieve when the charges against them were dropped on April 23, 1979, as reported in the April 24th edition of the Los Angeles Times. The district attorney's office Monday declined to press criminal charges against the operators of Video Encounters, an unconventional dating service for swingers. Hundreds of videotaped interviews, personality profiles, and membership applications seized by Vice officers after Art Bell and Marcia Boyd were arrested. April 13th were returned. "We're going to reopen at noon Tuesday," said a jubilant Bell, who was surrounded by reporters at Video Encounter's modest office on Hercules Street. But Bell said the incident, which resulted in he and Ms. Boyd being jailed for several hours, will not be forgotten, and that they now plan to take the offensive by each suing authorities for $1 million. "Of course, we knew all along that we'd be vindicated," Bell said. The vindication came in the form of a conclusion by District Attorney Ed Miller's office that no evidence of criminal conduct existed to press allegations of pandering, prostitution, lewd conduct, or operating a lewd house. The charges had been sought by Sheriff's Vice officers and La Mesa police, who arrested Bell and Ms. Boyd after 2 undercover Vice officers posed as swingers. Before presenting the case to prosecutors, Vice officers reviewed the videotapes seized from Video Encounters. Miller sent out assurances to the dating service members that neither the tapes nor seized documents had been duplicated, and that any information gleaned from them would be kept strictly confidential. Members of the S group, swingers, had expressed fear that if their identities were made public, their jobs might be jeopardized. Bell and Ms. Boyd were asked by authorities Monday to erase the interview tape of the undercover couple, citing security reasons. The request was granted. Bell predicted the swingers' service, little publicized, until the April 13th arrests could now be expected to emerge from the closet, as it were, and advertise in more conventional media. Until now, Video Encounters confined advertising to swingers' magazines. Bell was reluctant to gauge the impact the arrests and their attendant publicity might have on the dating service's business, but said most of the response has been positive. "A lot of people are calling who never heard about it previously, and some members have been very supportive," Bell said. He added that there had been no requests by S Group members for refunds of the $15 membership fee, which pays for the opportunity to view other tapes. A Vice Squad officer who participated in the arrest of Bell, 33, and Ms. Boyd, 25, who live together and are admitted swingers, had said that Video Encounters emphasized sex to such an extent, and then collected money for the dating service, that the combination constituted illegal activity. Nevertheless, the legal turmoil took its toll, and Video Encounters shuttered its doors for good in June 1979, a mere 2 months after the public scrutiny began, as chronicled in the June 15, 1979 edition of the Los Angeles Times. A drastic drop in business following a highly publicized Vice raid has caused Video Encounters, a dating and swingers introduction service based here, to close its doors for good. Art Bell, operator of the dating service, said that since an April 13th raid by Sheriff's Vice officers and La Mesa police, only 5 new members have joined the service, whereas before the raid, there was an average of 2 new members a day. Bell said the service had 300 members before the raid. Bell, 33, and his partner, Marcia Boyd, 25, were arrested and booked on suspicion of prostitution, but no charges were ever filed. "We had no choice, either close or go head over heels into debt," Bell said Wednesday. He said the Vice raid was irresponsible. "The fact they can do something like that to somebody is kind of scary." Bell also said he does not intend to declare bankruptcy and is planning to inform members of his service that they can transfer their membership to another local dating service or get a partial refund. With the closure of Video Encounters, Art's venture into the video dating industry seemingly came to an end, along with any further mention of his swinging lifestyle. Additionally, his relationship with Marcia Boyd ended in 1981.